Good morning. There's a great video. I'm going to put it in the comments. It's Johnny Depp talking about just how quickly people forget about you once you've died. He talks about how, like, within a few, people will send in messages they couldn't make it to the funeral because of an emergency, and they'll be at the funeral maybe a day or two. They'll be talking about current events, and that a month or two later, your wife or husband will, significant other, will be looking at a comedy and just talking about your employer searching for somebody else, a suitable candidate substitute, and that's true. And I've said that before, and I try to always keep that in mind. That you better try to make this life make sense while you got it, and that tomorrow isn't promised. And people are like, oh, that's not true. If you treat people right, you're generally remembered, and that it's people who take care of themselves only that are easily forgotten. Johnny Depp's not talking about people living their life like it's Grand Theft Auto. Okay, the video is not saying to go out here and hurt people, or mischief in contract, or not to treat your loved ones right, or to not be there for your family, or to not be a reasonable, rational human being. That's not what he's saying. They're not saying to hurt people or to take advantage of people. He's saying that life goes on. Now, yeah, you always have people that have made an impact. My mother, my grandmother, my grandfather. My grandfather got his obituary in here. I had it on my refrigerator when I was at the apartment. I mean, it's what it is. I got it. That's just, you have people that have made an immense impact in your life, and then in some cases, if you didn't have them, you might not be where you are today. Yes, there's people like that touch me, and there's people in my life right now that if they something would happen to them, God forbid, I wouldn't forget them. That wasn't the point of it. The point of it was caring about people who don't matter and who don't care about us, and this whole thing of keeping up with it. When I was a kid, he used to say this when I was a kid, keep up with the Joneses. That's what he's talking about. You're keeping up with people that don't care about you. And they have nothing for you. They have no impact upon your life. You understand? You need to be focused on you. And that's what makes life make sense. I just thought that was a great video. It may seem dark and dismal, but Cornel West talks about how learning how to die daily in order to learn how to live. And I'm going further into that. I'm not crying at him, but that's what it is. Is that, yeah, man? This is a one shot deal. This is not you're not gonna live 1,000 years, man. You're not gonna live forever. So you better think about that. And that when you think like that, it makes you appreciate the moments that are so important a little bit more than how can I say this the right way? You appreciate them more knowing that. It's not about being depressed and dark and sad. It's just about the fact that life is a series of moments. I told somebody, they don't like this, people don't like this. Life is a series of compromises. It really is. Life is a series of compromises. This life that we live is about compromising. It's about what we're okay with, what we're not okay with. And, where I work at, they have a saying. Say the guy's saying, he says that says priorities change, values don't, something like that. That he's talking about safety stuff. He's talking about like being careful and stuff, but that's really it. I just, I'm not a Johnny Depp fanboy, but I don't like it when people say deep stuff. And I live in this shallow society where no one understands this, where someone says something like that, and it's like, you should think about that. You should, this is true. He's right. He has a point that these are moments that are temporary and fleeting. Thank you for listening.